I was wrong.
And baby
We're
from
coming
the
back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another beautiful episode of A Work in Progress. This is your host, Samantha Maxwell here,
And Nilani here.
and with a beautiful guest, Nico. Nico
Hi.
Lopez, thank you so much for coming in.
Hi
Yay.
guys. Thank you for
Yes.
inviting me to your podcast. I'm such a big fan. I love you both.
Oh, hey, we love you
Stop it.
too.
We
We
love you
really
too,
appreciate
boo.
it. Yeah,
You
Nico,
are actually our official first guest on here.
he
I feel
is.
so important and so special. Even though like
Mhm.
you guys did that one episode of Star Wars and I was so mad that you didn't invite me. I was like, out of all of the topics, y'all could have invited me for that.
I don't know what you're talking about. That never happened. I don't know what you mean.
We wanted to save Nico for this special episode because this is something that we all have been through
Special.
together
Yeah.
as a collective. So we felt like this was like the time to bring you onto this podcast. But yes, Nico would have been great for the Star Wars podcast. I have to admit that.
Because I
Yeah, I
texted in our little group chat. I was like, "How dare you have a Star Wars episode
So
without
how
me
me?
present?"
Hey, we can always do a part two. There's more to Star Wars than just
Right.
what we talked
Yeah,
about.
I mean,
So you know,
we've been watching it like we've been watching Ahsoka for like pretty much all the episodes. So I mean, we could do like whenever the season finale does.
Yeah.
exactly. There we go.
All
See, in
right.
this episode, ladies and gentlemen, this will be a special one. And along with what we're going to talk about, we decided to bring along some of our favorite drinks. Mine
Mhm.
currently is
Indeed,
Beatbox. It's a delicious pink lemonade malt beverage, meaning it has delicious alcohol. What about you, Naomi?
I have this frozen cocktail, which is not frozen anymore, so it's just liquidy, but I still like it. Still tastes good. It's a
Well, why
Bahama
didn't you put
Mama
any ice?
because I have no ice in my freezer, so you know. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm drinking Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey with some Dr Pepper, with
I
some
always
very
want to
melted
try
ice
that
right
one.
now. It's very
Very
sweet.
much. I always want to try that one, Tennessee Honey. I heard that one's good.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
that
nice.
sounds-
If you drink it with like half and half tea or even unsweet tea, it makes it like 10 times better.
Nice. Okay.
So,
Thank you for the heads
yeah.
up. I haven't had
Yes.
whiskey in a
No
while
problem, no
either.
problem.
So, all right. All right.
Yeah.
Is this a podcast about drinks or like what's happening? Because we're getting
Right.
in.
Like,
Yeah.
my next drink I want to try and bring out is my rosemary alcohol beverage with a hint of tequila. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Girl,
God.
that sounds like that would have you face down.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was me when I had soju, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, so we'll get there.
Yes. But, Nico, again, thank you so much for joining us. You are our first guest, and it is a pleasure having you
Mhm.
here.
No
Yes.
problem. I know we've been meaning to do this, and like life's been complicated these past well, let's just say past 2 months. So,
Right.
which
Yeah.
I've communicated with you guys with and everything like that. So,
Of course, yeah, no, we all understand that life happens.
yeah.
But the fact that
Of
we're
course.
here and we're doing this, you know, it's gonna be a good
Mhm.
one.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yes. Huzzah. So let's get
Huzzah.
this party started, peoples.
All right.
All right.
All right, show of hands. Who has been in the most relationships?
So when you say most, what do you mean? Clarify that.
How many? What's your body count? No, I'm kidding. No.
Samantha.
Ooh. Mine's not. No,
Who's-
to be honest, mine's not even in the double digits.
Really?
Like I wish. Yeah, surprisingly.
Is yours, Nay? No, I'm kidding. No, we're not gonna talk about that. No, but what I mean is, who has dated more often in their life so far? Basically,
Mm,
So
Like-
because it ain't me. It's not.
So-
me.
like,
I
okay, well,
mean-
when
go
no,
ahead.
go ahead, Nay.
No, I was gonna say like, well, right now I'm on boyfriend number 3, so like, Yeah,
Wait, am I
so-
allowed to cuss on here?
go ahead.
Aw,
I
shit.
do it all the time.
we don't. Yeah, same.
I'm just making sure. I
drop
don't know what the
F-bombs.
ratings are for this podcast are.
Yeah,
I've
right.
been listening every
PG-13
week.
to R.
Tar,
To
yeah.
R. Is
No.
now is that a hard R?
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the topic, but yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, Nico.
Well, I mean, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
We gotta count.
I know, right? Heck. I don't even have. I only have one. You can use one hand on mine because I only did like one person. Well, technically two.
For me.
Yeah.
I'd say about like at least like maybe 6.
6, okay.
Because
So
I'm not counting all the crushes that I've had and that have broken my heart. Those don't count.
yeah, yeah.
Unless
Okay.
unless we
Okay.
count those, then the answer is 27.
No, they're not counted in this one.
Okay.
27.
A lot of crushes
Yeah.
there.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
I'm
no.
definitely a
Okay.
ladies
Well,
man.
Yes, he
indeed.
is. He is. And like, shoot, we like again, we went through college together, so we know.
Mm-hmm.
We know.
I mean,
You want to
you
be
can't
Frank
hide this.
Sinatra?
Yeah,
Can
you
hide
can't
that
hide the
face.
devilishly handsome face.
Right. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, for me, it's like I said, I'm in my third like actual relationship. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like if we're talking like serious committed relationship, like that
Then
have put
I
some
have to say,
miles in.
yeah, I would have to say one now because the
Yeah.
first two didn't really last that long. This is
Mm.
and then for this one, we just made it to 6 months, so that's like the longest committed that I've been
Which
with.
is an important milestone to make, in any
Right?
relationship.
Yeah, of
Right.
course.
But
Well, mine's 0. I never really been in a serious relationship before. Because I think I almost did have one, but we broke it off after 6 months. So
I
so
still
y'all were
say
just
that's
like,
pretty good, honestly.
yeah.
was it 6 months? Yeah, it was about 6 months. Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah. But I don't know. It just didn't seem. I mean, I think we were getting there, but
right.
then I moved home
Hmm.
after
Hmm.
I was done with college, and then that's what made it more difficult. So
Right.
I
yeah,
can see that. Yeah.
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 That would
Long
happen.
distance is not easy, y'all.
Oh no, trust me, I can attest to that. Like, I mean, y'all know what happened with me, but like
But
for the sake of the
yeah.
podcast, I'll talk about it. But
Right.
yeah, I had a relationship, and like I'm not gonna give any names, but like we'll use a different name. Say like,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
uh, 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 Dr. Pepper.
Bon- I was
Oh,
gonna say
okay.
Bonnie, but okay.
Okay,
we're
yeah,
gonna call her Dr.
let's go with
Pepper.
Okay, let's go with Bonnie then.
Okay.
So I met Bonnie when we were like in 8th grade, and like we were pretty much like best friends.
Mm,
And so that lasted from like 8th grade all the way up to like our freshman year of college.
mm-hmm.
And so like backstory on that, like we met in 8th grade, like we sat next to each other in the computer lab, and like our teacher, I'll say her name, Miss Fredrickson. She absolutely hated the fact that me and her were sitting next to each other because we would always like laugh and joke and like
Oh.
mess around, and like just like a true friendship. And she would always be like, Mr. Lopez, and Miss, so and so, like, do I need to separate you two? And I'm like, no, like we'll be good and this and that. And um and then like
I
naturally
love.
feelings, yeah, and naturally
Mm-hmm.
feelings start to develop and everything, and all this stuff. But she was dating another guy, so I was trying to be patient, and like I tried to
Mm-hmm.
win her over by singing a lot of songs, and which, funny enough, I still listen to some of them, and they're actually on my calm down playlist, but that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
um but then I gave her first like official kiss, and that was pretty interesting. Like afterwards, like I was
But
shaking because I was so like nervous and like excited. And
oh.
then yeah, but then like she ended up dating somebody else throughout the
Mm-hmm.
entire time. And so it was like this is a theme of on again, off again throughout the entire time that we were together. So like we would date somebody, and then like we'd come back together, and then we'd date somebody else, and then we'd come back together. And then
Mm-hmm.
it was like we were always like our I like to call it a safety net, like someone you could just come back to and know that you're gonna be okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
But then like our freshman year, and Neilani, I told, like I would not shut up about her one day. and like I would tell you everything about her, and
He
like just
did. He did.
and um I don't know if you guys, if I know I told you all the next day, but
Mm-hmm.
like our friend Chris and like Christiana and like our friend Jenna, like we were all hanging out that night when I got that text,
Yeah.
and it was just basically like, hey, like, I've decided to cut everything off with you. Like we're no longer together. Like I'm seeing somebody else. Like this, the typical, breakup stuff that I'd heard before.
Yeah.
But when she told me that she was seeing somebody else, like I don't know why, but it cut a lot deeper that
Mm-hmm.
time, and like I was just a mess. And like a couple years ago, talking about this now would have like gotten me more emotional. But like I take my time to make sure that I know what all the bring together. But like after that, like I ran to Chris, I ran to Christiana and Jenna. I was like, told them what happened. I was crying on Jenna's shoulder for like a solid 2 hours because I was like so heartbroken. And like, I can't believe this happened, this and that. And they told me like it's gonna be okay, you're gonna find somebody else. Still haven't found anyone else, although I had one relationship, but that's another story. But funny story, because I remember telling you guys this too, but actually I got back in contact with her like 3 years ago.
Hmm.
3 years ago, and it's just because I felt like something was missing. Like
Right.
like you're missing that other person, but it was also because I missed my best friend, like
Right.
someone to talk to. And like
Right.
I was having trouble like making friends out here because I don't know if your listeners know, but like I moved out to Texas, and like this is why we're doing this. But
Right.
um um
So this
it
was
was
middle or high school? I can't remember.
So it
no
started off
this
in middle school and then
yeah.
Okay.
transition over.
Yeah. So it
Gotcha.
started in middle school and then like all the way through high school. Like I said, we were on again, off again.
Mm-hmm.
And then like that, what was it? I think it was that uh it was either January or just or February when she broke up with me.
Hmm.
Um
Mm.
and that was before I moved too. And but yeah, like I think it was like New Year's, I came to the conclusion, I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna make amends with what's happened. And I've already made peace with this. So
Mm-hmm.
I told like I texted her out of the blue and I said, or I contacted her on Instagram, and by that point, like she was already engaged and married, and so like I just texted her and I said, "Hey, like we need to talk," and like she texted me back. She's like, "Okay, give me a few," and we jumped on like video chat on Instagram and we talked. And I told her that I basically just like forgave her for everything that she'd done, like all the times she had broken my heart, like even the time that the very last time. And she was like, "Well, I appreciate that, but like, do you not remember the last time we talked?" And I called her that summer when I moved out here, and I just basically like told her off. Like I cussed her out, and it wasn't
Oh.
pretty.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was just like, how could you do this to me? Like I gave you everything. Like I was willing to buy you an engagement ring and this and that, and like
Mm.
I had plans on marrying her, and she didn't know it at the time, but I was gonna fly out there to surprise her for Christmas and like propose and everything like that. But yeah, like I told her that, and then I was like, well, I mean, can you blame me because like for the amount of times that you hurt me? And she was
Right.
like, no, I can't. Like I'm surprised you even messaged me and told me you wanted to talk, but it was just because I wanted to make peace with everything that's happened.
Mm.
And that same night, I met her husband, and me and him are actually good friends now, and we still talk to this day. Like, I
Mm.
actually called her yesterday, and we were talking about it. But I think like that one was the most difficult heartbreak because you figure like what 5 years together with someone, and then you go almost 2 years without even talking to them, and like I know it was going to take longer to get over that, but I mean, I think I'm more mature because of that, of
Mm.
coming back and saying, hey, like I'm okay with us being friends again. And, I know like you've moved on and I've obviously moved on with everything. Like I just want my best friend back. Like That's all I really wanted. And, I can say I have that now, which is always good.
Indeed, it's good to make peace
All right.
when it came to through all that.
Yeah, because I think like if you don't make peace with your demons, especially something like that, and I mean like Nailani can have an entirely different opinion on it with her stuff, with her story that she's going to tell. But I think for me, like having regrets and like lingering stuff like that, like just eats away at a person. Or at least
Mm,
that's what I believe.
I
So,
agree. Yeah, wholeheartedly. I mean, it's like if you don't release or talk about it, I mean, it's like a soda. Eventually, you'll pop.
mhm,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I just, dang, Nick, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I'm glad in the
yeah,
end you have come to peace with it.
yeah. And like even with other relationships that I've, because I was only in one other relationship,
Mm-hmm.
um, like that kind of led into that.
Yeah.
Like meaning, like my ex had a problem with me and her talking,
Mm-hmm.
me and Bonnie talking, and like it was just like how can I throw away that friendship again when I've dealt with that, I've made peace with it, and I'm okay with it. But like you
Mm-hmm.
have a problem because we dated in high school when like
Mm.
that was like so many years ago, and like I'm more committed to you now, like everything like this, like we have a house together, and it was very difficult for that relationship. That relationship didn't last.
Yeah. Wow.
So
That's kind of emotional there. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a little
Yeah.
quiet there. I'm sorry.
yeah.
It
Oh.
happens.
Oh,
So
cat.
yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. See, I've never really been in a serious relationship like that, so I really can't say much when it comes to this topic. I have to admit, but mm, when it came to my last one, like I said, we were starting to. I think we were starting to get to that point, but when I moved, everything changed, and I was
Hmm.
angry for a while. And I'm also thinking, what did I do wrong? Maybe if I would have done this and whatnot. But in the end, like you, I came to peace with it. Like, I don't think nothing really would have changed
Yeah.
if I would have, stayed, or whether I stayed or not. I mean, it probably would have ended the same way. Who knows? Because
Right.
we both wanted something different in our lives. Obviously, yeah, I'm here and he's back in school now, which I'm happy for him. But I am
Hmm.
also glad that we're still friends at least. We ended on a good note.
Yeah.
But I do wish sometimes that we would get back together and maybe hope for something cool to happen, but I doubt that'll ever happen, y'all.
Yeah. And I think that's like um it's like kind of it's good to like kind of think of like, hey, maybe if I get back together with them, like maybe something good will happen. But then
Right.
like you're always going to be asking yourself, what if I had done this? What if I had done that? Like what if
Yeah.
I didn't date that person and then I moved on with my life? Like that's something I deal with now
Mm-hmm.
of like, well, what if I stayed with, my ex? What if I stayed with, what if I tried a little bit harder with Bonnie and like all my others?
Right.
And like then it just comes to the point of like, why am I going to repeat the past and go back and like always wonder what if, when I can like put all my energy towards the future
Exactly.
and do better things like what I'm trying to do now with going into the military and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. Try not to dwell so much on the past, but that's of course easier said than done.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Nene?
Well, where do we start?
Hmm.
Because I feel like you guys, like, there weren't relationships. They were like just guys that passed by.
Mm-hmm.
But like, of course, like you guys witnessed the beginning. Like I
Hmm.
said, like the guy that kind of started it all.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Yeah.
but before him, I had someone that I've been dealing with on the side. Um, I don't know where to start, honestly, because I don't know. I feel like I just been through a lot. But like, I know Sam had seen me during my first boyfriend.
Right.
Nico
Hmm.
wasn't there, but like, we told him about him. Sam saw me go through that one and saw how much of a emotional wreck I was in the end. And because that was like my first heartbreak, and I because like, he was my first boyfriend, first heartbreak, blamed myself for everything, honestly, at that point. Like I thought everything was my fault. But it just turns out there were more things that were behind it, of course. Um, because I was acting out on instinct when it came to the
Mm,
breakup, you
Hmm.
know? I was just like I felt like something bad was about to like really hit the fan. I was just like, let's go ahead and end it now.
mm-hmm.
And then plus I always told him, I'm like, if I ever like break up with you, it is not you or anything like that. If anything falls between us, it's not you. It's just something I'm doing to save both of us.
Hmm.
And so I acted out because I just told him I feel like this is something just bad about to happen, and I just like I cannot continue to let it go on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if I told Nico this. I probably told you Nico about this, but there was so much more that was happening behind the scenes that I did not know.
Oh,
And then
with what's his name?
yeah, and then
Yeah.
and then so after we broke up, so like there was things started to unravel,
Hmm.
and there were certain people involved and
Mm.
certain things being said about me behind my back, and I was just like, yeah, no, I broke this off for like a really good reason. So
Right.
Hmm.
like if you ever have like an instinct within a relationship to go ahead and end it, it's your gut
Yeah.
talk, it's your gut talking to you basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I did not listen to my gut, I would probably would have been 10 times more hurt than I was before, because I went through like life blaming, like I think I went through like a whole year of just blaming myself, torturing myself, punishing myself.
Hmm.
So I
Mm.
finally looked at it as like, this is not my fault. Like I did nothing wrong. So many hands were so many hands were dealt in this and all that. So that was that one. But before him, it kind of reminds me of Nico's situation with Bonnie. I guess we can call this person, I guess, Ricky.
Steve,
Steve. Okay.
Ricky.
Oh,
Yeah.
Steve. I like Steve
Ricky
better.
Steve.
Ricky
Ricky
Steve.
Steve.
So we're gonna call
Yeah.
him
How about
Ricky.
Ricky
that?
Steve.
So we're gonna call him Ricky Steve. Yeah. He was someone I met after high school. It was a
Hmm.
summer job. It's where we were like sales rep, selling like products, and um, first time I laid eyes on him, cutest thing I ever saw ever in my
Aw,
existence.
You were like, at
Yeah,
last.
right. Like you can
my
hear that.
love.
Hmm.
Like I heard that in my head. I thought he was the cutest person ever. So like
Aw.
but I knew he had a girlfriend. So
Mm.
I tried. I don't know. I'm bad at talking to people because I end up flirting when I really like them. So like I end up
That's me too.
flirting without like intentionally flirting. So
Hmm.
we talked, had some heart to heart moments, loved it all. We stayed in contact because we're both from North Carolina. So, but we're just like from different cities.
Hmm.
So basically he went to college in another state while I stayed in North Carolina. I went to college down there. And I told Nico about him, and Nico was the one to encourage me to tell him, because I think it was like, since we were both out of college, I told Nico like how I felt about him. I thought just like he was an amazing person. We stayed in contact, and Nico was just like, just tell him how you feel, and I told him, I was like, hey, like I liked you a lot, and I know that you had a girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
then, because they had broken up when they got to college. Um and he said he was flattered, all that stuff, but like he really wanted his ex back, so therefore there was like never gonna be a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was like some really like intense moments and feelings between us. um and then he got another girlfriend, and
Yeah.
and then something happened with them. Me
Mm-hmm.
me and her became friends out of that. And then
That's always a weird thing to hear too. Like when your ex is, or the person you're interested in, like you
right.
become with their ex and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got that.
yeah, yeah, you become
Yeah.
friends, yeah. Because like when they broke up, she's calling me crying, and I was just like, "Oh, wait, calm down.
Mhm.
Like, let's think about this. Let's talk about it."
Right.
So me and her became friends, and she hated him after that. She was like, "He
Oh.
used me, blah blah blah." Like she was going in on him. And then he got with his now wife.
Right.
And he was telling me about her. He was just like, "Yeah, like I just really liked her. She's just amazing." So um but it's like in between, everything, it's just like he's just like, messing with me, like just
Mhm.
tugging on the heartstrings at this point. And I'm
Yeah.
falling more deeply in love with him. And I like when I tell Sam and Nico about him, I call him my unrequited love, which is
Mm.
meaning one-sided love. So like I love
Yeah.
him, but he doesn't love me. Um
Yeah.
so we went through, and then like I don't know, it was so unhealthy. It was really unhealthy because I felt like the life was being sucked out of me, honestly. Like it was so unhealthy. It really messed with my emotions and like just everything. And so when I finally decided to cut him out,
Mm.
it was hard. And what really was the last straw for me is that Ricky Steve was telling me he was going through some issues with her, right? Nico laughing.
I'm sorry, Ricky
Oh,
Steve.
Steve.
It's a
This is
funny name.
it is.
Wait,
Oh,
that not Ricky Steve. You could have done Ricky Savage.
Ricky said, "Oh my gosh,
Ricky
stop."
Bobby.
Yes.
But yeah, like oh gosh, so he was going through some issues with her. And he told me that he was planning on proposing to her.
Mm.
And
As one does.
I'm
Mm.
trying to be the supportive friend. I'm trying to be like, "Oh yeah, congratulations." But on the inside, I'm like,
You
"No."
bastard.
Right, I don't like
Right.
this. But trying to be supportive, not trying to be bitter. And then, and then he got me good. He was just like, "If me and her end up breaking up, will you be there to take care of me?" And I'm like, "We're friends. I got you." Blah 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 blah. Yeah, dumb moment,
Mm-mm.
dumb moment, dumb moment.
Nope.
I know,
No.
I know. I was in my feelings at the moment. I was not thinking straight. So I was like, "I got you. We're friends. I'll be here for you. You know me. I got your back."
Mm.
Um, they did not break up. Proposed the next day.
Mm.
I
Mm-mm.
instantly blew up. I was going in at him. I was just like, "So I'm just someone that you just come to when you just need them, and then you just don't even toss me to the side like I'm trash." And
Mm-mm.
he's like, "I'm not trying to treat you like that. Like I really didn't really mean to." And I'm just like, "Well, you kept doing it, and you were aware
Mhm.
of the actions." I don't know. I just went in on him, and
Right.
I cut him out of my life. And so they had their wedding and life went on, all that stuff. And me and him literally just started talking to each other about 2 years ago at this point. So we started
Mm.
talking, back at 2 years ago after I think like 3 years of not talking. Um, we s-
Mm-mm.
we squashed everything, he has a baby now,
Yeah.
cutest baby in the world, honestly. I love
Mm.
babies, that's my kryptonite. But cutest baby in the world, in my opinion. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like Nico's with Bonnie, it's just like that person you have known for years,
Mm.
and then, everything just happens.
Right.
Like, yeah. So yeah, that was another one. Now, which one of you guys were you wanting to hear about? Because I have like stories for days about
Okay,
this.
okay.
Surprise me.
Was Ricky Steve the one that we went to the beach with spring break?
No, 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 no,
Okay,
no,
I thought that's who we were talking about.
no, no,
But
no,
okay,
no, no,
No,
no,
not him.
now I
no,
remember who
no,
you're.
Not
no,
that guy.
No,
Oh
but
no.
no.
now I remember that one. I remember the
Okay,
one. I remember. Yeah,
okay, but now are we wanting to talk about that said person?
that is up to you
I'm
and
about to
you
say the same
alone.
thing. Yeah. If
Okay.
you
If you
want
want to
to.
release,
I mean,
yeah, if you want to release that,
I'm past it. So if you got questions about it, you want to know more about it, let's hit it. I don't even know what's going on with the person right now. I don't have contact with the person. I never like even had contact with that person.
Oh yeah, like last time that I heard something about him was from our friend Harley, who I dated for a little bit while we were out there, or while I
Mm.
Yeah.
was out there. And that's another one too. Like that one's really, but anyway,
Yeah.
like I remember she told me something about like her roommate talked to him, and or no, not her roommate, but her friend's roommate,
Mhm.
Right.
and like they were just going off on him. And I think it was like the night that we had that banquet for what was it? Shakespeare in the Pine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember we did that, and then that's what she was telling me. That's the last I'd ever heard of him.
Yeah.
Um,
I think after all that debacle, so what happened actually after that one is that we moved into the apartments across the street, me and Sam.
oh yeah,
And
that's right, that's right.
yeah, and he worked in the office.
Mhm.
And
Mm,
I was getting a little pissy because the dude act like he did not even know me, and I was just like, "Excuse you,
I think
like,
I remember
right.
that
yeah,
actually.
because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like he calling me ma'am and all that stuff, and I'm just like, sir, you put me through HE double hockey sticks, and this is how you treat. Okay,
Hail. You put me through hail.
like
HE
yeah,
double
but
hockey
hockey stick.
stick.
So
I haven't
like,
heard that in a while.
so I'm like, okay, okay. Then of course he remembered me, but he was always like, I gotta act professional when I'm here. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. You're so fake at this point, like whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so he would talk to me. So when I got with my first boyfriend, he'll ask me questions about it, of course, and then when we broke up, he asked me questions about that. Try to
Hmm.
be nice and give advice, and
Sure.
all that stuff.
Be
So
cordial.
be
Yeah.
cordial,
Right.
yeah. And then he wanted to hang out with me so badly. And I came up with every excuse that can come to my little brain to put this off.
Mm.
Hmm.
But the boy was persistent. So I was like, you know what?
Mm.
I was like, you know what? I'm tired of you asking me. So we're gonna have this one hangout. And it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be fast. It's gonna be, all that. So he
A one,
came
two,
up.
three hangout.
Hmm.
So he came by. We watched a movie. We watched Step Brothers because I've seen it before.
It's
I
a funny
know,
movie.
I know what's coming up, when it's gonna end, what happens, bam.
Hmm.
And then he was trying to watch another movie, and he was like, let's watch a movie that, we both haven't seen, because you've seen this one. I was just like, I gotta get up for class in the morning. So like it's kind of so we're gonna have to do a part two of this later.
Mm.
Never did a part two. I was not gonna allow
Yeah,
that.
I would.
I
I
was trying
wouldn't.
to,
Yeah.
No.
yeah, but
Mm-mm.
he was sitting there apologizing for everything that had happened between us, and I'm just like, I'm like, I mean, I'm trying to be the better person. I'm like, yeah, I accept your apology and everything.
I
Um,
don't.
yeah, it just it's just
Oh my.
right, but it's just this one just really left a huge scar on me, and I'm still. It's been years, and I guess like I'm slowly healing because there's like some insecurities and all that stuff that I do have that other
Hmm.
guys keep adding on top of, which is really just jacking me up at this point.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like that's the last thing that happened with that said person.
Hmm.
Um, what happened between me and this person, and it's crazy because all this happened over like what, a week or two span. I don't know. It was so ridiculous how quick everything happened.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
basically, I meet this guy. We hit it off. Thought everything was cool
Hmm. And
until
and me and Chris and like another who else was with us that day when we like
was
came up
to
to him and we were like,
yeah. Oh gosh, it was so funny because I was
yeah.
supposed to meet him. Because on campus we had a Starbucks. I was supposed to meet him there, right?
Hmm.
So I finished my food and I was like, okay, bye. And then
And we're like, where are you
you go,
going?
where you go, man? And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna go meet someone that I just met
Oh.
on okay, if you know about Tinder, you know about Tinder. I met him on Tinder. And then everyone was like, oh, okay. Everybody got off the table and was like, we're going with you. Bump this. I
Hmm.
was just like, okay. So
Hmm.
I'm walking full speed, trying to like lose them, and everybody's just catching up with me. I'm like, dang, I gotta walk up in here with all of them. So then I walk. So like so I see him, and I walk in, and I'm like, hi, how are you? And our Chanel and Chris go get their drink, get their
Hmm.
coffees. Nico sitting
Right.
with me, and everybody's just like sipping on their coffee and staring at him like. Like, what you doing here? And I was just like,
Yeah.
okay. I was over here
Dang,
like, oh my God.
is
But
this a date
like,
or is this a date or an interrogation?
that's what I thought too, because it was supposed to be like a little harmless coffee date, get to know each other
Hmm.
kind of type vibe, featuring best friends. So you know that you got you some best friends when they're sitting there like walking down there interrogating a guy with you. It was
Hmm.
hilarious, but yeah. So like, I thought everything was cool. Then he had some baggage, because like,
Oh,
yeah, because like
A lot.
a lot of baggage, because like one of the things I did not know was that he previously broke up with somebody like a week or two before meeting me, and that was something that I did not know until later. So there was a lot of ex-girlfriend, so basically ex-girlfriend calling.
mm.
Hmm.
He answers the phone, he's arguing with her over the phone, and he's supposed to be hanging out with me. Then when he gets off the phone with her, he comes in there, sits next to me with a whole attitude, and it's like we can't even enjoy the day. And I'm just like, okay. Um, but yeah, no, it was just like this person just left a huge like scar on me. Like so much happened, and it's a long story. So I am not sure if everybody wants to hear this. Like the viewers want to listen to this. It's a long story, but if you want to know more about the story, please let us know. But it's a lot had happened, and I didn't
Yeah.
know how to handle it because this is my first guy that I'm ever encountering with. So
Right.
I just did not know what to do. I didn't know what to handle. A friend was just like, you need to take charge. I'm like, how do you do that? And you're new to everything, and you don't know you don't even know like the situation or how to deal with the situation.
Yeah.
Um, but it was to the point where he was just pissing off everybody at this
Hmm.
point. Like we went on the beach trip, right, Nico? And
Yeah.
like,
Who was he flirting with in the car?
oh, Taylor.
Yeah. She
Oh,
did
Yeah.
join.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Now I
She
remember the
was there.
story y'all told me
Yeah,
about. Yeah.
no, like, no, he'll flirt with the girls right in front of my face too.
Hmm.
Right.
And I'm looking at him like, dude, you said you just couldn't commit to me because of what you were going through, but you're yet flirting with my friends in front of my face.
Hmm.
Mm.
And then what Harley told us or told me during spring break, it was that he kissed a girl. Because this girl was like head over heels for him. Don't even know where she
Hmm.
came from. But he kissed her, and I'm just talking to him like, yo, like what's happening here? Because none of this is making sense at
Yeah.
all. Then with Nika, we went on the beach trip, and that was a whole
Yeah.
mess. I was just the moodiest I could ever be because I'm like, he's flirting with people in front of me. I like him so much, and I'm like, I don't know. He was just he was stabbing me in the heart so many
And
times.
and you were in the car with him too. That was the thing.
Yeah, I was literally right back there in the back seat, and I'm
Yeah, because
watching all of this.
we took two cars because Chris and Chanel were with me,
Yeah,
and they like Taylor and you and him.
yeah,
I was just about to say his name.
yeah.
Um, no, but I remember when we stopped, we pulled over before we got to the beach,
Mhm.
and or no, we were going to the mall.
Yes.
Um, and we pulled over in a parking lot, and we were playing football. Or the three of me, Chris, and him were playing football. And then I walked over to you because you looked mad, and I was like,
Hmm.
"What's wrong?" And then you told me, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh fuck!" And then I told Chris, and then Chris came over there, and I was playing football with I was about to say his name again, just to like try to keep him away from like what he was hearing,
Yeah.
because I remember Taylor told us what was going on too,
Right.
and
It was
that pissed me off.
Mm.
yeah. And like gosh, I never been through anything like that before. So I was just like so naive.
Mm-hmm.
So ladies, gentlemen, if you see someone that you like flirting with your friends, cut them off. If they're
Hmm.
talking about their ex, like and like or like their ex calls them and they argue with them on the phone, walk
Mm-hmm.
walk away. That
Wait.
is walk away because like what I went through, it hurt like no other. I was so devastated.
Yeah. And it
And
hurt us too, seeing you like that, like
right,
Same.
seeing
I
you go through
wasn't
so
there,
much.
but from what you told me when y'all got back,
right.
I was glad I wasn't there because I would have been so angry.
Yeah, I
I
No,
would
but
have
was.
said
even
something.
afterwards, like even
Yeah.
after all that happened, like weeks and months after that happened, like everything else that like unraveled because of that, like
Yeah, like secrets, because like I think like
hmm
I think he was seeing girls on campus too.
Mm,
hmm
If I can remember that correctly, it was that. And then so I thought I was completely done with him. Like I was trying to clean my hands of him. And
hmm
then he works and lives in the apartment complex that we're in.
right.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, Jesus Christ. And then like I felt bad because like everybody knew what happened between me and him. And like one of our good friends, Whit, she asked, like, is it okay if she talks to him? And I'm like, yeah, you can talk to him. I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna be like that friend
oh
that's
my
gonna
God.
that's gonna be like, no, you can't talk to him because I'm very mad with him. Like, no,
hmm
I ain't gonna be that way. Like, talk to him if you want to talk to him. If you want to say hi, say hi. Like I'm not that controlling friend. So like it's
Yeah.
fine. And I felt bad because like I feel like everybody had to walk on eggshells when it came around me when it came to him, and I'm just like, no,
Mm.
hmm
no, if you want to be nice, if you want to be cordial, you want to say hi to him, say hi to him. Like it's totally
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, like no.
I don't know if I could. Like I'll see him. I just like, oh, other direction.
Right. Like, we're gonna
Lucky
avoid you
you.
like you're the plague.
Literally, I'm
Yep.
like, oh crap, other way, other way.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, but I wasn't there when that happened. But when you came back and told me all that happened,
Yeah.
I was really sad that all that went down.
Right.
I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy. That's just so cruel.
No.
Exactly. Because I was just like, 'cause I'm saying to myself, like, does he not know that I'm still back here in this back seat and you're yet like flirting with a friend of mine's?
Right. And
Yeah.
Right in
also
Who
front of my
I had a
face.
crush on.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like what are you doing? I don't know. I wanted to curl up in the ball and like just cry. Like my
Mm,
life away. And he'll get mad at me because was it we after the beach we went to like what, Olive Garden or something like that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
And
we were gonna have dinner.
yeah, we was gonna have dinner and I'm sitting at the table. I'm still like in my pouty mood because I just can't shake it off. I'm hurt at this point. And he's just like, he's like, okay, you just been mad and moody all day, and like what's going on? And I'm just like, nothing, I'm fine. And then he's like, you're not fine. And I'm like, hey, I'm fine. Leave me alone. We're good. Because I didn't want to sit because I was getting angry. So I did not want to sit there and blow up in front of him in a restaurant, especially like Olive
Yeah.
Garden, where it's
Mm.
bougie. Like I ain't trying to blow up in a bougie restaurant. So
Yeah.
like I'm like, leave me alone. Like and then he's like, all right, all right. But like he'll get mad at me for not communicating with him. And I'm just like, how can you get mad at me for not communicating
Mm.
when if I sit here and tell you why I'm mad with you and what you're doing wrong, you're gonna try to justify it,
Right.
Yeah.
which you always did.
I'm mad that he couldn't figure out what exactly was wrong, considering the fact that
hmm
he was the one who caused the problem.
You caused so
hmm
many problems, like because he knew that if me and him would be a thing, he would have been my first boyfriend. So he knew that I was new to dating, and I guess he took that as like, oh, like she's naive, she's not gonna really like figure out what's
T-
going on.
She's
And
Right.
not gonna know. Yeah.
yeah, and then
Hmm.
I'm not stupid. Like I see what you're doing. So like, just because I don't say nothing don't mean I don't know what's happening at this point. So like,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I don't know. I
But
don't
it's
it's
yeah.
just yeah, like no, I wanted to commit murder that day. I was just like, dude, no.
No, but
Like,
it's ridiculous still. Like, but if
yeah.
you were still going through things with your so-called ex,
Right.
why are you seeing other people?
Exactly. And that was the shocker to everybody because he told us
Really?
that. So when we found that out, we was like, oh, okay. So because so everybody knew the gist of this and where it was going,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It's like how he came to me and like just ended the whole talking phase because he looks like he said he just wasn't ready to commit. And I'm like, I give you props for like, you know, admitting to that. I was hurt on that one too, because
Mm.
I was disappointed, because I was like, oh wow, like I have a chance of like having a real first boyfriend, someone that I like, someone so amazing, you know, in
And
my
you were
eyes.
excited about it too.
Yeah, I was super
Yeah.
excited, and then he said he can't commit, and it was like big
Well, oh,
Everything
bombshell.
came
okay.
crumbling down. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Well,
just like,
that's
"Oh
done there.
Lord." Yeah, and then like I
Yeah.
knew more, and then I had a feeling that more bad stuff was about to happen and unravel after that happened. I was just like, "Okay.
Right.
All right."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all, I tell you.
Like it was a lot that happened.
I feel like y'all have
Well,
more backup, more back stories than I do.
Right.
well, I mean, it's kind of funny because, like me with Harley, like our friend Harley, like we only dated like until I left from North Carolina to Texas.
Mm,
But like it was literally like maybe, I mean, if I'm remembering it correctly, like if Bonnie did break up with me in January,
mm-hmm,
I want to say it was like before Christmas break though. Like that's the thing.
mm,
So like I was single for a while, I was still trying to get over her, and then that's when me and Harley had, you know, got together.
right.
And we were okay for that, and like a majority of the time, except for some issues we had with her being insecure on some stuff, and like us just having to talk through it.
Mm-hmm,
But like afterwards, when I moved here, and like, you know, I'd call you guys all the time, and I'd be like, you know, I miss you. And she was one of the people that I would talk to.
mm-hmm.
And like when it came to Bonnie, and like every time like I got news about her, like I would go running to you guys and running to Harley about it. And um like she didn't like that at all. She's like, you know, Nico, you can come to me about anything else, but like do not come to me about her. Like that is the one person that I cannot like stand you talking about, because I don't want to, like I hate the fact of how much, you know, how hurt you were by her. Like, and I
Mm,
don't want to hear it. And so I guess that's why me and her hadn't talked in like a good while. Like I talked to her like a couple days ago actually.
that's good.
Just
Okay.
catching up a little. But
Yeah.
and you know, I mean, we left on good terms when we broke up,
Yeah.
before I moved here, because then I knew it wasn't like there's nothing I can do to stay there. So,
Right.
but like that's kind of how I felt a little bit. I was like, how am I gonna go if I'm trying to get over somebody and then I'm dating somebody? Like it was like weird at first to be in that dynamic again.
Yeah. I get if you're getting over someone, you try to venture out and meet new people,
Mhm.
but that's easier, again, easier said than done because you're still dwelling on the past of what happened, you
Hmm.
know. And it's kind of hard, to let that go, considering like the history of the past person you were with.
Yeah,
But I think it's just best, yeah, to just try to overcome it before trying to commit with someone else. But again, I mean, who hasn't done that? You know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the tough part, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and okay, hold on. Would you guys say that friendships that turn into relationships are always good? Like you,
Sometimes.
Yeah,
okay.
sometimes.
What about childhood friendships that turn into something more,
I
like
feel
farther
like
down the line?
Mm,
I feel like those may, in my opinion, and this is a girl who watches a lot of romance movies, because
I
like,
know.
yeah, because
yeah.
they portray
God.
that
Y'all.
as a thing that works out.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, because like you grown up with that person,
Yeah.
Hmm.
so you don't know that person like you do. Like no one know that person better than you, basically.
Hmm.
And sometimes they do adventure off, but it's like they always come back together, because it's like childhood friends always, it always seems like they're always meant to be together, honestly, because then again, you know
Exactly.
them so well,
Mm-hmm.
so it may not be in your teenage years where it could work out that great, but it's like,
Hmm.
like in the adulthood. And actually there are some people who have known their significant others since childhood.
Right.
They go through the rocky transitions and growing up and all that stuff together, but it's like they always find each other back. I don't know, because I feel like, you of course, you grew up with them since day one,
Hmm.
and you know them, like their little personal secrets and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like those have a good chance
Yeah,
of surviving more. I think for friendships that turn into relationships, that's a 50-50 right there. Because
I
like
agree.
yeah, because like some of those are successful, some of them are not successful, you know.
It's like it's like saying it's a random example, but it's like for friends, for example, like Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano. It's like if they started dating, it'd just be odd, you
Okay, I
know,
can see that. Yeah.
because
Yeah,
their friendship relationship is just so strong. It's like brother and
Yeah.
sister, they have that kind
right.
of commitment that
Yeah,
yeah. So if they ever started dating, it'd just be like, I can't see that.
right.
Hmm.
I
And
guess
then
it's just be
also
too
it's like the
personal
level
or
of
something.
respect they have for each
Right.
other too. So that kind of
Yeah.
comes into play. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a random example, but that's all I can think of at the moment.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no, like that's a good one because I think I didn't watch it, but there's this guy, he does like kind of like I think his channel's called it's called like folklore or something like that. But basically he does like videos like okay, one that I saw of him it was like, oh, what if Anakin didn't turn to the dark side? And then like, he'll play it out how he would see it. So
Right.
he
Hmm.
did one like what if Ahsoka and Anakin did get together and dated and there was like and he didn't get with Padme.
Hmm.
How would that be? I didn't watch it to see how it played out, but to me it was like an interesting title because everybody looks at their relationship as like a really big bond. But
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
again, like, it's master and apprentice, and then also it's like he's older, of course, but then like it was always that brother and sister dynamic they always put out
Yeah.
since day one. So like
Right.
yeah, I mean it's a good example, but it's just like it's weird
Right. Like if you
what
think about it,
happened.
it's like it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
No.
Nah, the relationship. I mean, it's just the relationship is too strong for the force.
The force couldn't handle that one.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, so like with friendships, yeah, I agree. It's like 50-50. The fact that y'all come together so close as friends, going into a relationship just may change the whole thing. It just wouldn't be the same, you
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
wish I had a better way of explaining it, but again, it's like sometimes it works out for the best, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I
I
like.
did that.
Yeah, you had something like that.
Yeah, in middle school. I don't know
Mm,
if that should count as a relationship, but that was my first one. We were
mm.
friends, and then we ended up dating for a year, and then he broke things off with me.
That counts. That counts if it's more than like six
It,
months. That's a
yeah,
whole year.
that's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like in middle school. Oh my God.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
such.
Because people are like going back and forth and like they're
Mm-hmm.
dating around.
Yeah, and then like and it's like, oh yeah, no, we've been together for a day, 3 days,
Hmm.
24 hours, and I'm just like, oh, that's a great relationship, I guess,
Right.
Yeah.
Yo, when kids like be like, "Oh, we've been together for like 3 days. I think I'm in love with this guy." I'm like, "Huh?
It's been three
It's
days.
been 3 days."
Hmm.
But for me, yeah, it was my first relationship, and we were in middle school. We were really good friends first, and then out of the blue, before summer vacation started, he wrote me an Jesus, he wrote me a little note just saying like, "Do you want to go out with me? Yes, check the box, yes or no."
I
And then
hated those because I think it's like sometimes it's the no box.
mm-hmm.
And then no, I think someone did that to me. They sent me a note and I was just like, oh crap. So like I kind of like quickly checked the no box because I didn't like him like that. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I think I put a note. I'm like, it's nothing personal. It's just I don't feel that way about you. I'm so sorry. I did put a little note next to it, boy. And then
At least you were honest.
yeah, I was honest about it, but like
Yeah.
when I slid it over, he was disappointed. He dropped his head down. I was just like,
Oh.
okay, I'm
No,
sorry.
I did that like so after like the first time me and or Bonnie had told me she was dating somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like this other girl, and I'll name her like Casey. Um, like we were in choir together,
Mm-hmm.
and she was in the girls' choir, and I was in the boys' choir. So we had two different classes, and then we had one class where we came together. And so I knew her schedule, and like me and her started talking more and more, and I told my choir teacher, I was like, hey, can I write on the board? I'm gonna ask so and so out, and they're like,
Oh,
I suppose, yeah, but like I'm gonna erase it as soon as they see it. And I'm like, well, no, I mean, don't do that, but like wait. And so I left, like it was during her free period, so I was like, I wrote it on there. I was like, Casey, will you go out with me? And like I put it in and a dot and like at the end, and she read it and like she told me what like my teacher did. And, like
yeah,
she erased it as soon as she saw it, and like the entire like girls choir saw it. So like they already knew that I had like a thing for her.
right.
But like I remember her running down the hallway because I raced out of, I think it was like my Spanish class. Like
Hmm.
I raced out of my Spanish class down to the hall, and like I saw her running towards me, and she was like, yes, and like we hugged and like all that stuff. And then like a week later we had
Oh,
our first kiss, and I was all like, look cute.
Ah, shucks. Oh, that's so
Nico's the
sweet. I
romantic.
know, right?
Right.
Mr. Trauma.
All
But
right.
yeah, that was how did that happen? But basically, yeah, for me, it was just he had the paper. I thought about it for a day, and then I was like, okay, sure, yeah, why not? And then
Okay,
next,
sure.
we started dating, holding hands and stuff like that, kissing and
Aw.
whatnot. And then I made the mistake of saying that I loved him.
Aw.
Yeah. And
Little
then
Sammy saying I love you.
yeah, I mean, why say something I know I didn't mean, you know? So I said it, and then next thing you know, in the coldest month of February, he said, yeah, I don't want to, let's break up. I'm like, okay.
Damn.
Ooh,
Yeah.
in Valentine's Day month? Gosh.
Yeah. You know what's funny? So far, the two breakups I had, they all ended in February. I don't know what it is, but February does not like me.
Girl,
No,
what was it?
October does not like me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 months doesn't like me because
Mhm.
yeah, because the first two lasted 2 months, and
Oh,
Oh
wow.
then
God.
yeah,
2 months.
so 2 months, and so when I got into this one, I was prepared for this one to end at 2 months because that's what I'm used to. Then we saw 3 months, and then we saw 4 months, and I'm like, where is this going, sir? Like, what are you doing? And then he's just like, well, like, you just gotta sit back and go with the flow. It's okay, like I understand what you've been through. I'm just like, shut up. Like you're throwing everything off balance, man.
Right.
Right.
Like you just don't know. Like I'm used to 2 months. 2 months, then we move on. Like,
Right.
don't upset the balance of things.
You know what's also funny is that when we got to high school, I saw him again. And then in my head, I'm like, oh, we're gonna get back together and whatnot, rekindle. Like, even if we don't get back together, let's just be friends, bro. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Oh my God.
And again, in the coldest month of god dang it, February, he stopped talking to me. He just stopped talking to me.
Yeah, that is
So
not your month.
it really
Yeah.
isn't. So 3 times my
Do
heart was
not,
broken.
please do not get married in the month of February.
No, I
Yeah,
say
God. Don't have
six.
a winter wedding.
Girl,
Please don't.
I would sage your wedding. I would sage it, put a crucifix at the end of the altar and all that stuff,
Nah,
girl.
we are
Hmm.
bringing so many heaters up in there. I'm like, we better be in a heated room. I ain't coming if we're not.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but so
It's gonna
yeah,
be a winter wedding on the beach. Got that nice coastal breeze
That is some
y'all
bull.
can keep
and
that.
freeze. No, I hated
I
the
ain't sitting
fact that
out
when
there
we
in
went.
no wind.
Right? I'd be like
No, I
Bernie
hated.
Sanders in a coat and a chair.
No, I hated the fact that when we went on spring break, Neilani, that it was like super cold and it was like March.
Hmm.
I was so pissed off because we was at the beach and I'm over there with a hat
Hmm.
and a hoodie and a cover
Hmm.
scrunched up, and I'm just like,
Hmm.
this is wrong. Like, it's
Yeah.
supposed to be
I was like, damn.
warm. Where's the
No.
spring weather, man?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh my
It
god.
that time sucked.
Yes. So I have some questions for you guys that,
Mm.
if
No.
you don't mind answering, shut up,
No.
Nico. If you don't mind, if you don't mind answering, you don't have to answer. So I'll start with Nico first because you just want to be a bitch. No,
Well, okay, fine, sure, if you put it like
I'm
that.
joking. It's the alcohol, y'all. Don't mind us.
Oh yeah, we're
Um,
having
Mhm.
fun tonight.
so my first question, you are still single, yes?
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah,
when it comes to
and
starting
available.
a new relationship, what are you
Mhm.
afraid of?
I think for me, I'm afraid of falling into my old habits of like my old relationship,
Mm.
meaning
Oh,
like my lack of communication, my lack of um, like, oh, I guess showing my emotions, or conveying my emotions, not running away during an argument.
oh.
Because I have, I don't know if you guys know attachment styles, but I have an avoidant attachment style. And my ex had an anxious attachment style, meaning like I don't like conflict, so I run away from it.
Mm.
And
Mm.
like when conflict happens to her, she is worried that I'll never come back. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Oh,
just
okay.
all about the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
we were raised. And so
I can
like
understand that.
Yeah.
I can't
yeah,
stand confrontation.
Me
yeah.
either. I just like no.
So that and like I don't know. Just trying to make sure I don't mess it up. That's like my big thing. Because like
Mm.
somehow like I always do find a way to mess it up. Like I'll say something or like I won't relay certain information, like key information that is important or like seems important but isn't really, but then it ends up being important, if that makes any sense.
I
And
think so.
then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I would just say that. But like I've been like this whole like because I've been single now for the past 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've been really trying to like work on myself, especially with that. And like conveying my emotions and stuff like or expressing my emotions, I don't say convey, but like telling people how I feel because I have a habit of bottling everything up and then exploding and then it not being good. And then all hell breaks loose.
I'm with you there, brother. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Nay, since
Mm-hmm.
you are in a relationship,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my question for you is, how do you think you can
Unicorns.
make your relationship stronger?
Yeah, she unscrews a cap.
Yep. Right. Unscrew the cap like, let's unsip this tea. Talk,
Good.
Miss Ma'am.
Um. So one of the things that we do that I found it very weird in the beginning when he was starting it with me,
Hmm.
um, it's like a it's like a reflection moment, you know. So it kind of reminds me of our check-ins back in college, how we kind of like, you
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah.
like reflected on some things.
Did you say chickens?
Check in.
I think she did say chickens.
It sounded like you said
Check
chicken.
in.
It sounded like you
Maybe
Check
that's
said
just some
in.
chicken tenders right now.
Out of everything you could have heard, you hear chicken. Are we hungry? Is that the problem tonight? Are we
maybe
hungry?
that
I
it
think we
is.
are hungry.
Maybe. Yeah. But continue.
Yeah. So I think so we can kind of do like a check-in. So like,
Yeah.
you know, we kind of like like just see how we're doing, like how you doing, like how you feeling, and
Hi, hello, how are you?
Hi,
right,
hi, how are you?
how are you, good
Hi,
day,
how
yes,
are you?
yes. So I think one of the things is like we do like things that we feel like, like after we've been together for a while, because I think we did this after 2 months and then we did it again, I think after like another two. It's kind of where
Mhm.
we kind of like tell each other like, okay, we've been together for this long now, so what can the other person improve, or like, like, or like anything like that, or we set goals for each other, so like
Hmm.
I tell him like, okay, well, you're saying I gotta do this, like get a car, of course, find a better job, basically is something that they can improve ourselves, and I do the same thing to him, and I'm like, because I'm pushing him to go to school.
Mm.
This boy be rating movies out of nowhere, like, so we can go see a movie, and he's so hard to please. He rates every movie a 7 out of 10, and I'd be ready to punch him. I'm like, not every movie is a 7 out of 10. What is wrong with you? yeah, like I don't know, like it's like you have to hear him talk about movies and like what's lacking and what's there or not. And I was like, you're smart. You need to like go to school and like project that in some work,
Right.
And so like so it's just like we do like check-ins and just talk to each other how like we can better ourselves individually, how we can better like our relationship individually, and like and how can we proceed to move forward. That's what we do.
Hmm. I think
Okay.
that's an important thing to do too.
Yeah.
Like, I think if I had that, and like not to say like me and my ex, like we didn't like communicate what we wanted or what goals we wanted to set.
All
Mm.
right.
Like it was just I wouldn't take it seriously,
Mm-hmm.
and like then I'd forget, and then like we'd be back to square one, and then like we would argue, and then it would just be like a whole thing of like just that. So I think if more couples did that, and even like couples that have lasted for a long time, like marriages and stuff like that, like I think that's a good way of like checking well, yeah, like checking in with each other.
I
Like
Yeah.
that's
agree.
important.
I
I
said
think if
them
more people did
check-ins.
that, I think if more people did that, a lot of relationships would last a lot longer.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, because I was thrown off when he wanted to start it because I was just like, where all of this is coming from? Like, why are you asking
Right.
me these questions?
Yeah,
And then he was just like, well, like like a couple at work, like they do it, or like a friend at work does it with their significant other, and I was just like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
give me a while, let me think, and then we'll come back and revisit this with you. I was like,
Hmm.
do you guys sit in a circle and just be like, "Hi, my name's Nailani.
no,
I'm
I
feeling X, Y, and Z."
I wish, but no, we just texted through to each other. I was like, yeah,
Oh, okay.
goals and boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Speaking of
gotcha,
goals, that's
gotcha.
the next question for you, Nikolai.
Go.
Goal. Would you
Yeah.
ever want to get married?
Well, I mean, seeing as how I was planning on getting married when I was in high school or
Well,
coming out of high school,
right. Yeah.
um, I think I do, honestly. Like one day I do. Like obviously when I meet the future Mrs. Lopez. Um, but it's funny because my last ex or my ex, we talked about it. Like
Mm.
because she was a little bit older than me. Like we were like 4 years difference. So like she was 28 and I was 24. And um oh no, I was 23. She was 27. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um like we talked about it and I was like, well, I'm not ready for marriage yet. Like I'm still trying to figure out who I am and this and that. And like because she was a little bit older, she wanted to get married and she wanted to have kids and all that.
Right. Right.
And so like that was a discussion and that was one thing we did argue about because of that age difference too. And that is a key thing that I will like say that age is a factor in a lot of things. It may not seem like it, but it is.
Age. Yeah.
And yeah, because like you can like you don't tell, but then like times you can tell the difference. But I mean, yeah, I mean, seeing as how like I have an entire like wedding playlist of songs that I want to be played at my wedding, including like
Oh,
the first dances and like all
yeah.
that. Like these
Oh.
are songs that I won't play for anyone, and
That
like
wedding's gonna
no
be
like no
fun.
Right, man. I'm
yeah
excited.
No, like I
When
feel
y'all
like
get married, we're getting down,
I
bruh.
feel like I'm gonna be crying at Nico's wedding, and I'm just like, and I'm not even the bride, but I'm in the audience, bawling my eyes out because of all
hmm
of these
Dang.
songs he's playing.
If you were to hire me for your wedding photographer, I'll be literally in the aisle just bawling my tears like, that's good. Click, 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 click. Do I do more? Click, click, click. Oh
We can we can hear a
God.
the
sniffle
feature
between each clip.
Right. Oh, Nico. Wait, come back. Go left, go left. Click, click. Got it.
move the lighting to the left.
Assistant. Oh, God, I
Yeah.
need a minute. True, true.
Oh.
But I get that, yeah. Let me see. Nico.
No.
Yes. Okay. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Wait,
Okay.
I just asked you a question. No, yeah, I'm gonna ask you another one. Okay.
Okay. A twofer.
Um, considering all that has happened, No, this is a question for both of y'all.
Okay.
If considering
Ooh,
all that has happened thus far in the years of your lives, would
the
you
days of our lives.
change anything? Yes, in the days of our lives. Would you change anything and take your exes back?
I did that one time. I took an ex back and I paid the price for that.
Okay, besides
Do
that one.
not do it. Do not do it.
Besides that one.
Okay. Um,
Oh, we got to think about this one, huh?
I
All our
mean,
eyes are, I mean, literally both your eyes went straight up to the ceiling.
cause okay, so part of me wants to say yes to warn myself about what is about to happen.
Mm.
But then if I do that,
What
then
would
I
you
would,
learn?
yeah, exactly. I wouldn't learn anything. I wouldn't grow as a person, even though it was
Hmm.
painful. It was painful, but I wouldn't known anything. I wouldn't grow. I probably was still. I probably would be naive to this day, honestly.
Mm.
So gosh, I'm gonna have to say yes. I no, yes, I don't know. I would not change anything. Basically, let's
Mm.
just put it that way. I would
Like,
not
no,
change
yes,
anything.
maybe, I don't.
I don't know.
Okay.
I was trying to find the right answer to the question. I was just like, I forgot how she formed it. But in other words, I would not go back and change a thing. I'll just probably let myself go through it right over again, honestly.
Mm.
Because again, like you said, what would we have learned from that? And it would be nothing at this
Mm.
point. I want to say yes so bad and save myself the trauma,
Right.
but I have grown to the person I am today and be wise about relationships. Because I tell people, I'm like, hey, that's a red flag. You run. Do not head that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you a story why. And I just tell them what
Yeah.
happened to me, and then bam. And
I
it's good
agree.
for like my future kids. So like if they're going through something, I'd be like, Mama's been there, baby. I got your back. Like I know how to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's essentially like what that is too.
Yeah.
Like you're going to tell your future kids what's happened, what you've been through
Right.
and stuff like so you do I mean you do essentially do get a chance to, do that, but I
Right.
mean in a way. But I mean for me, honestly, like the way I look at it, and I've looked at this for a long time, is they're either like people that come into your life, especially like relationship wise, they're either a blessing or
Mhm.
a lesson.
Right.
Mm.
And like people say, like, people come into your life and for like a season, and some say for multiple seasons, and some just come for one
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and all that stuff. But I think for me personally, I think there's maybe only two that I would really like I'm not gonna say take back, but I would definitely change the way that I treated them, if
Mm.
that makes any sense, like in the relationship itself.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
my very last like official girlfriend in high school, um, like we just the way we were, I think at the time we weren't ready for each other, but we still gave it a shot. Um, so like it was like and the thing is too, I still talk to her like to this day. Like we'll talk and everything, we'll catch up, but then um like I feel like I treat her way more better than or a lot better than I did back then. And I think that's just to make up for like how much I hurt her and put her through back then. Because like I just didn't know like what kind of relationship this is going to be, and like this is, I'm going to go to college and this and that, so I'm not taking this serious. And I definitely did like hurt her in a way.
Yeah.
And I think like that would be the one thing I would change, is like how like I would have appreciated her a lot more. But and another one would have been so like the reason why I asked if like childhood friendships turning into relationships are good is
Right.
because that's happened to me.
Yeah.
And I knew this girl like since I was like 5. And like she eventually told me, or like she was mean to me like when we were little, because she
Oh.
was hiding her feelings.
Yeah. You told me
And
about that one.
yeah, and it's just like the way like kids are, like little, or like girls don't want you to know their feelings, so they're mean to you, and like this and that to hide it, to like
Kind of that was mean
hide
to
it
you, but
from
had yeah,
everyone.
had like a true crush on you. Oh,
And
okay.
like,
I had a guy
and I
like that
didn't
in
find
middle
this out.
school.
Yeah, and I didn't find this out till like afterwards. Like when we got back into communication with each other, and I was like, "Do you like remember how mean to me you were?" And she's like, "Well, I mean, like I didn't want everyone else to know that I also had a crush on you and everything." And I was like, "Oh my God," and I was like freaking out at the time. But I think with that one, I wish I would have spent more time like just trying to like take everything further, if that
Mm,
makes any sense. Because it was like a long distance thing, and like for so long, I wanted her to be the one. Like I always thought that she was the one, especially like growing up together. And like
mm-hmm.
like parents are, they're like, oh, like we're gonna be in laws, this and that.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna look so cute together at their wedding. And I'm not gonna lie and say that this girl ain't beautiful. I mean, she is. Yeah, I think I wouldn't take back anyone, to be honest, but I would
Mm-hmm.
change a little things. But then again, at the same time, like what it's like you went through all that stuff for a reason. You acted that way for a certain reason because at the time you didn't know. I mean, now you know how to treat someone better. You know how to take care of someone more efficiently and all that type of stuff.
Right.
So yeah,
I
it's kind
agree.
of like 50-50.
Yeah. I get
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I'm glad y'all feel comfortable answering these questions.
Hmm.
That's cool.
Is there 57
Um,
more?
Probably. No, okay.
That's a
I think
lot.
of the yeah, just okay, maybe one more. One more.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe a couple more. I'm curious now. The alcohol is trying to make me ask questions. Getting the
Oh, I
tea
Oh.
all
finished my
out here,
drink
bruh.
already.
I saw a survey that people who meet basically the person that they're dating with, uh,
Hmm.
um how they meet is usually either at what is it? The first like it was like it's three tiers, right? The third one was at school. The
Hmm.
second one is through family. No, sorry. The third one
Hmm.
was family. Second was school. And the
Hmm.
first, which I'm not surprised at, is at bars and clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That
feel
makes
like
sense.
yeah, I feel like bars and clubs are like the latest spot. I mean, it's hard sometimes, but I feel like you have like a really good chance of meeting somebody you're gonna hit it off with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
But I mean, that's
agree.
been a thing for like a long time because I
Right.
remember my parents and all of my family members telling me stories about when they would go to like, there's a place that they used to call the Crystal Chandelier out here in Texas or in
Mm-hmm.
Dallas. But it was like the biggest like country place to go, like
Mm.
country bar to go. And I remember like everyone telling me a whole bunch of stories and this and that. And like I'm now trying to do that too. Like forget like Bumble and Hinge and
Right.
like I was banned from Tinder somehow.
Wait,
Um,
what?
that's a story
No
for
way.
yeah, because my Facebook got hacked, and so it was
Oh,
linked to it. So I had to create a new one.
okay. Yeah, that'll
But
do it then.
also like, do you guys know the three loves? The Have you guys heard of that before?
Yeah, I think it's like you're supposed to you're supposed to fall in love 3 times.
Hmm.
And
Oh, okay.
yeah, and it's either the third person is your true love or after your third person is your true love.
Yeah,
So basically
because
when you hit the fourth, yeah.
yeah, so your first true love or your first like person you ever fall in love with is like someone from your childhood, like someone that you've
Okay.
known for like a long time, and that doesn't last. And then your second one is someone that you truly fall in love with. Like there is that connection, there is that um what's the word? Well, I guess connection is the right word to say.
Yeah.
And then that one hurts the most afterwards. And then your third one is either the one you're supposed to be with, your true, like true love,
Yeah.
or like afterwards, like you're like what Milani was saying, your fourth one is when you'll find them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think I told
I,
you about that, Neilani.
Yeah, you did. And then like I don't know,
Yeah.
it stuck with me throughout the years because I was just like, because I'm
Yeah.
counting down because like I said, Ricky Steve, he was I mean, like, we never dated, so therefore, like, I don't know, but to me that felt like love. So
Mm.
I've
Mhm.
always counted him as my first. And then the second was like my was my first boyfriend. And again, I was devastated on that one. So, and
Mhm.
then the third boyfriend, the second boyfriend, I'm not sure if I really want to count that one because that was just frustration at its own core. Like I wanted to throw hands at that point. So I'm not sure if I really want to count that because like love never really came into play with that one.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
So, and then, of course, I got this one, which is something I'm still trying to navigate as well, because with this one, it's like I love him. I love him so much. I'm like, there are times where I feel like I'm not so in love, but it's like a
Mhm.
off and on feeling, and that's something I just have to work on personally.
Yeah.
But he's a good person, and so I really love who he is, and he's amazing. Um, but yeah. So this maybe the third and final one. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
You never know. You never
Mhm.
know.
Right. So we're just
But
have
I,
we're just having fun. We're in the moment. So that's all.
but
Yeah.
hey, I wish y'all all the best. Honestly, y'all seem to get along
Oh,
very
thank you.
well. You have in
Yeah.
common a lot. But I wish y'all nothing but happiness.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And Samantha is next to find her man. We're going to
Right.
oversee.
Mm.
So
Now, what if Sam gets married before we do?
Ooh.
Oh, please.
and me
Oh,
and Nico put in all his overtime, and
Right.
she gets it quick.
Damn.
Thank you.
me and
Thank
Nico are currently single Pringles. I'm salt and vinegar. I don't know what flavor you are, Nico.
Oh, I thought I was gonna
Cheddar.
be salt and vinegar, but okay.
you.
I'll
She
be
took your
salt and
flavor.
vinegar. I'll be cheddar. I
Right.
like cheddar too.
I got
No, but I
pepper.
want to be salt and vinegar.
The
Huh?
pepperoni pizza one flavor. That one's pretty good.
Oh
Mm,
man, I don't know. I have the originals always. I mean, of course, that's top
That's
notch.
too
yeah.
not that's plain for me. I need flavor.
It's
Right.
delicious. Okay, guys, as we draw this podcast to an end, I have one more question for you.
Okay.
In your opinion, what is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Shut
Baby,
Baby,
up,
don't
don't
Nico.
hurt
hurt
me
me
no
no
more.
more.
Yeah.
No, really. What do you think? What is love to you?
So this reminds me of a audio that was on TikTok. I think it came
Yeah.
from Dawson's Creek, basically, because the voice sound familiar. But
Hmm.
a little girl asks, Dawson, what is love? And he's saying, look, gosh, I can't remember what word, but basically it's like having a soulmate, like someone that is your best friend, someone that you grow with, evolved with, and you accept them for who they are. I think love is all about acceptance and seeing yourself growing further with that person, but also love is just like that in my experience. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that pounding feeling, that shortness of breath, just like I guess the sight of the person can just like change your whole world. They're your comfort, they're your safety net, your safe haven. No matter how mad you can be at that person, you know that you're still gonna love them and still be want to be with them. So like,
Mm.
you can go, it's like against all of the odds, basically. So for me, it's love is just like my home, my comfortability. Who can I be comfortable with and stay that way?
Yeah.
That's
I
Aw.
mean,
yeah.
for me, like the one thing I can think of, like if we're doing like stuff from like other media, um, it'd be like one of the monologues that Corey did about Topanga from Boy Meets World.
Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God.
And I think it was when he was going to college and he was
Yeah,
trying to explain to his parents why he loved Topanga so much.
yeah.
And
Oh.
I did that monologue in high school
Uh-huh.
with
Oh.
with Bonnie in mind. Um like that's like I use like past experiences for like my scenes and stuff, and I know that's very disrespectful for your like to your past and all that stuff. But I mean, that's what I would use at the time, especially with the topic like that. And like I think the way he said it couldn't have made it like I don't think any other way would have conveyed the way that I felt about love.
Mm.
But I mean, now having gone through what I've gone through with everything that I've been through, I guess I would say like love is something that you can be comfortable with, and you're not afraid of being who you really are. Because people say that you wear multiple different masks, with people, people, your friends and all that stuff, and even like by yourself.
Hmm.
And I think just being very open with someone is a sign of love, and then knowing that there's someone else out there that knows you way better than like yourself. Like I could call Bonnie up right now and be like, "Hey, like X, Y, and Z happened," and like I know she would pick up and like we would talk, and yeah, and it's just like I don't think like I wouldn't have like I mean Neilani said it pretty much like the best way
Yeah,
is
I
all that
Mm.
stuff.
think I found that monologue, Nico. So his mom asked him like what love means to him. And he
Hmm.
says, Mom, listen, I haven't been with Topanga for 22 years, but we have been together for 16. Okay,
Hmm.
that's a
Oh.
lot longer than most couples have been together. I mean, when you were born, you told me that we used to take walks in our strollers together around the block.
Hmm.
When we were two, we were best friends. I mean, I knew everything about this girl. I knew her favorite color, I knew her favorite food. Then we got to six, and Eric made fun of me because it wasn't cool to have a best friend that's a girl or even know a girl. Then it goes to all that, and then he says how he
Hmm.
threw dirt at her for like the next 7 years. So I was like, oh gosh.
Hmm.
Then he says, then when I was 13, Mom, she put me against my locker. She kissed me. I mean, she gave me my first kiss. She taught me how to dance. She always was talking about these crazy things. I never understood a word she said. All I understood was that she was the girl I sat up every night thinking about. And when I'm with her, I feel happy to be alive. Like I can do anything, even talk to you like this. So that's what I think is love, Mom, when I'm better because she's here and now she won't be. So I'm finished.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, I almost started crying halfway through that.
Right.
That
That's
is
I
so
so
know you did.
cute.
Yeah,
cute.
you can see.
Oh.
No, the way I did that
Dang.
monologue too, like
Mhm.
because I've watched Boy Meets World, and I grew up with it too.
Same.
Like even though it was before our time, but still,
Yeah.
um,
Right.
like I could feel that, and
Yeah.
like at the
Mm.
time too, like knowing what I had been through and everything like that, and like even like the girl that I grew up with, like I used some of that in that monologue too. Like um, it was very hard at the time to do that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that is one way of saying what love is. And like I could name off so many other monologues that I've read and done. I'd have to look them up again, but
Yeah.
like I think like no other way could describe that except for that. For me
Right.
at least.
Mm.
Yeah. There's so many movies that actually nail what love is.
Yeah.
Mm.
And in one of my favorite movies, The Holiday, she
Classic.
yeah, she was going through the different types of love, basically, like the love that is lost, the love that fades, the unrequited love. But basically, what does Shakespeare say? Love is like the sun, like it's blinding, of course.
You know what's
But
funny? I thought of Shakespeare too, of what love is.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Which one did you think of first?
like for me,
Yeah, what did you find?
well, I would look for it, but I think what she said that love is blinding, basically, which is facts. Love is blinding. Love is
Mm.
bright. it's blinding in a bad way, but like it's just something that shines bright, basically.
Yeah.
And that's how you know, like, it's very pure. That's just how it is. I don't know. There's so many movies that kind of nail what love is. It's like we can sit here and rant on for days what movies
Right.
those are, but
Exactly.
yeah,
But
And then
I'm
if you want the real scientific answer, love is just chemicals in the brain.
yes, that's what everybody says.
right.
Yeah.
It can mean many things, but yeah, sure, scientific way.
Right.
Yeah.
But from Shakespeare, his sonnet 116. I haven't read that in a while, but I had to look it up to remember one line that I actually did like. And in there,
Mm.
he defines true love as the union of true minds. And I like that too, because in a way, how I see love is that it's not force, you just know what it is. And when you come
Exactly.
together and make that connection, it's just pure bliss.
Yeah.
Mm. Cliche as it is. Like love
Yeah,
can be at first sight.
Yeah.
Because
it can.
I
I think
can't
it can.
I can't
Yeah.
like I think at least for like the two of them, like the two like true loves that I've had,
Mm,
they were at like at first sight. I think at least for the girl I grew up with, like it was definitely like I knew I was gonna be with this person eventually, and I still kind of hope that too to this day. But I mean, well, that's an entirely different story, and we won't get into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Like
mm,
I think in my relationship is just like I can't force love.
right.
It happened on his due time. Um,
Exactly.
because
Yeah,
I love him. I may not have the same level as love that he has for me. But I'm just like, I even told him I just like I want to be in the moment with you at this point. Like I'm not gonna sit here and rush it. Like
You
when
shouldn't.
yeah, like when it's time for certain things, well, of course, we'll know about it, of course, But yeah, it's just like, I have to tell myself that every day is do not rush it, let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be okay, like don't expect yourself to feel it because somebody else is feeling it, ahead of you,
Right.
like in his heart, that's how he feels, he's just ahead of
Things
us,
happen in due time.
yeah, like
yeah, exactly.
like your time to feel it will come up, it's just like, it's just right now we want you to be in the moment, honestly, at this point.
Right.
So,
But who
and that's what
hasn't
I'm
felt
Yeah.
learning.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who hasn't felt that when they see other couples, like kissing and hugging and whatnot?
Girl.
I mean, it's natural. I'm sure it's natural to feel a little
Yeah.
jealousy.
Me
Y- Me
at
too.
me.
Yeah.
I'm sure one day I will feel that, just like you guys. Until then,
Yeah,
I'm just doing my own thing,
Feeling like a villain.
which there's
feeling like a
nothing wrong
villain.
with that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
and I mean, I feel weird for saying this to like people who are like obviously Sam, you're older than we are,
I keep
but
forgetting that I am.
Girl,
I
you
yeah,
act
swear.
because you
you
don't
act
act like
just
it.
like us. That's the thing. You act
I
like
know,
us.
I
but like
do.
it
Oh my
it feels
god.
weird for me to say this, but like don't rush into anything. Like take your time, and I think it
Yeah.
maybe because I've
Believe me,
been through
I'm
a lot
not.
more.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
more time you spend on yourself, the better,
Right.
because
Oh, indeed. Yeah.
then like you'll know like when you're finally ready. And like it's gonna
I
happen like
agree.
when you least expect it too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Believe me, I do enjoy being single because that's how I learned about a lot more about myself, what I don't like, and as I get older, I'm realizing that more too of
Yeah.
what I can and cannot tolerate anymore.
Yeah.
But I know it'll come in due time. But until then, I do enjoy my own company.
Right.
Yeah.
And you get to have fun without any like restraints,
I
you know,
agree.
you know. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and
yeah.
I know I'm saying like, oh yeah, I'm jealous and whatnot, but really, I'm not because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, I am always happy for someone who's in a great, healthy relationship.
Exactly, because those are really hard to come by. Like, not everybody can have a healthy relationship. Like from the talk, me and Nixo have been through some pretty hard, toxic stuff.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, y'all,
it's
yeah,
yeah, so
y'all been
it's
through
so
it.
yeah, we do, yeah, but like
Yeah.
Y'all have been through it.
yeah, but like every time I see somebody happy, and in a good relationship and it's healthy. And I'm like, I commend you on that. I'm very happy for you to be in that, you know. So well, you guys, it is time for the end of this lengthy but amazing podcast. I think this was a really good
Yeah.
one. And before, yep.
Yes.
So Nico, as you may or may not know, but I feel like you do know. So
Mhm.
what we do at the end of every podcast is we have a little segment that we call the real review. That's where
I'm aware of
we
that. I'm aware of
you're
that.
okay. So Nico's
Mhm,
aware, where we take a
mhm.
Yes.
movie that we have all seen, and we rate it from 1 to 5 stars. And we rate it based on plot, theme, and dialogue. And then we always
Mhm.
ask ourselves, will we watch this movie again? And
Yes. I feel like
Nico,
Nico should take us away. Like lead
yeah,
us
he
into this one.
right. But Nico had the pleasure of, I mean, I've seen this movie before, and then Nico's seen this a bunch of times, and then I think Sam watched it for the first time or the second time. I don't know. I forgot.
I watched it as a kid and I did
Uh-huh.
not remember anything that happened.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
going
no,
back to as an adult, I'm glad I watched it because
right,
it hits so differently.
right.
Yeah.
Because I think I was in high school or middle school when I first watched this, and this is how I first knew about Neil Patrick Harris was this movie. But
Really?
yeah, yes, it's the first time I laid eyes on Neil Patrick Harris was this movie.
I
But
don't know how I found it, but either way, I had no business
yeah,
watching it.
no one did.
Yeah.
All right, but Nico, do you want to introduce the movie to our viewers?
Yeah.
Okay, so the movie that I picked out for us to do this real review was a movie called Starship Troopers, directed by Paul Verhoeven, with Casper Van Dien, Denise Richards, and Neil Patrick Harris, and a whole bunch of other lovely people. Michael Ironside was in there too, and Clancy Brown as well.
Yes. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
He's good. He's really good.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, so like I said, I've seen this movie several times. Like I at least watch this like maybe once or twice a month.
Mm.
And it's funny we were talking about relationships because this is the one movie that I make every significant other or girlfriend watch before we even start. Like this
Yeah.
one and Paul Verhoeven's Total Recall with the '80s one. They're
Oh,
like the
that's
two
a
movies that I make
classic.
people watch. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Um, but dialogue is great. The campy action that's in this movie is like wonderful because
Yes.
it's so like stereotypical like 80s 90s and it came out in 97 but when Verhoeven was making it and the the Gulf War happened so he was like all of this military what's the word help me out here the like
Military?
would you like to know more stuff.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Yeah.
propaganda. Yeah, the propaganda was heavily
Yes.
influenced from the Gulf War when that was going on, and then also like the Iraq and Afghanistan war that came later on. But
Mm-mm.
he drew inspiration from that, and it's very much like it's political satire, but then it's also like going against exactly what it's portraying of
Mm-hmm.
like a full militarized government and like system and like you just see the irony and everything that's good throughout this entire movie and the spin-off movies and animated movies that are drawn from it.
When I first saw this movie, I thought it was like a regular old act, honestly, shoot 'em up, kill bugs and whatnot. But
Yeah.
as
Right.
an adult, like a lot of things, I'm just like, this actually does mean that's like a meaning behind it. Because
Hmm.
because I noticed also when it came to the characters in the movie, they were going to war, like, yeah, we're gonna get this, we're gonna kill all those bugs, we're gonna go full on in, yeah, metal
Hmm.
jackets. But when they got in, and they realize what they're dealing with, like the whole mood change, like
Hmm.
everything changed for them. And I think that's one of the main themes when it came to this movie was basically war and
Oh,
how it's like, yeah, you're helping your country go out and get the benefits and whatnot, but they really don't understand how war can affect somebody.
and how it really
You know what I
works.
mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because obviously this is a sci-fi film and it has like bugs and whatnot. But in reality, it can be like that too. Like when it comes to going off to war in another country, it can really affect people. I've seen so many like wars and hit when it comes like in the actual history of textbooks that people are like with shell shock and trauma and depression
and
and whatnot and lose
PTSD.
everything and
Yeah.
PTSD. Exactly. I wonder if it was made today, it would have a different meaning to it, or people would have seen it differently. If you wonder that.
Yeah, but then like you get you're able to watch it like now and like see. And I don't think like if it was made today, it would have the same effect.
Yeah, Melanie, your turn.
So yeah, I think when I first saw this movie, like I was like middle school. So I really didn't quite understand it
Mm.
at first. I'm just thinking like, oh, like they're like in battle with bugs, bugs from another planet, like so you like so I'm thinking very sci-fi with it. I thought it was kind of scary because like I'm sorry, you just see bugs coming out of nowhere, like just fast killing people because
True.
it's like how fast you see someone die within 2 seconds.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I but like now I love the character development that's within it because everybody's just like, oh, why did you join? I'm like, oh, well, like I want to be such and such, so I'm here for the free
Hmm.
money. One
Yeah,
person
they
was
have that
like,
scene.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then everybody's just like, oh, well, I'm here to kill bugs, like,
Yeah.
That's right.
like
I'm ready. I
yeah,
want
like
a country.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like it, and then like I think as further as they go, and they're out on the field for the first time. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
they see how real it gets because they're seeing like people they trained with die so quickly right before they need their eyes. So they're just like, oh wow, no, 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 this is the real deal. And
Yeah.
then and I think for our lead character, Johnny,
Rico.
Rico,
Yeah.
he I think what really hits him about it being so realistic is when his home planet gets like
Yeah,
Demolished. Yeah.
demolished.
his
Annihilated.
Like yeah,
home,
Really.
yeah, his
Yeah.
yeah, it gets in
hometown.
his hometown gets like really yeah. So it's like okay, like parents are gone, everything's gone, and
Hmm.
so it's starting to hit him like okay, no, no, this is for real. Like like there's just no turning around. There's like we got to
Mm-hmm.
do this. This like we're here in this war to like actually put an end to this.
Right.
That there is no free money, free ride, or just to like like have fun. Like no, no, it's all seriousness. And I think from like I just really love the character development that was within this film.
Yeah.
Like you see them change, especially Johnny. You see him change so much. I just love the character development within it.
Me
I just
too.
thought I
Yeah.
just thought this is like really well put, and then like I didn't know like all the information that Nico was putting out about it, about like what it was portraying to, but just hearing that you like and like like the movie does confirm it because it's just like war is just like this really big thing, and
Yeah.
people just don't know how real it is. So
Mm-hmm.
just to like so for the characters to understand what it is, and then for you to understand what it is, it goes so much deeper because like I said, I was in like middle school. So when you're a kid, it's different.
Yeah.
I think what really fascinated me was the spaceships and like the flying
Hmm.
that Denise
The
Richards
graphics and everything
yeah,
else.
the graphics
Yeah.
was doing. It to me it was just amazing. And then of course I got to see Neil Patrick Harris, and then I followed his career, of course.
True.
Because
True.
this was the first movie I saw him in. So then but like as you get older, like Sam said, you get a different take on it, and it's very serious. And
Yeah.
Mm.
I know,
Even yeah, the history behind it from Nico was telling us as we were
yeah.
watching the movie. I'm like, oh, this goes deeper than we expected.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because like Nico was like our commentary during the movie. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you see
And I
so like
kind of didn't
Lucy.
want to do that too
Yeah,
because
but
I was
like
like, oh,
I didn't
let
mind
them
it.
enjoy
You
it.
know,
yeah, I mean
we
Yeah.
yeah,
just
because
like pause and then you say something. We just kept going.
yeah,
Honestly.
Yeah.
we kept going, but like Nico's was like commentary, so he was guiding us through it, and it was just like, oh God, this got real.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
is something like I don't know, but I thought it was honestly I thought it was a really good movie, and I thought it was like well done, honestly, and I feel like this is like add it to the list of very like underrated movies that people don't really much talk about, honestly, because
Yeah.
because in all my years of knowing about this movie, I never really heard much about it, honestly. So I really
Yeah.
felt like this is like a really underrated movie that needs to be talked about because there's so many
Right.
good movies out there that needs to be talked about, and this is definitely on the list of one of them.
I think so too. Because even the director
Yeah.
himself said that when he directed this and he showed the meaning of this movie, it just went with over everyone's head.
Yeah, which
Mhm.
is really sad, you know.
Yeah.
So
So
like,
that's why it
yeah,
made me wonder, like, if they made it today, like modern day, would it have any other difference or any would it change?
like
I don't think
Well,
so.
I mean, that's
Because I don't want to downplay this generation, but I
Well,
feel like
right,
it,
yeah,
but I feel like it would have went over their heads. I feel
probably.
like like maybe a selected few of kids probably would have grabbed it or something like that, but like the whole generation, yeah, I feel like it would have went over their heads. Not to downplay them, but like,
And
you
I'm not
know,
downplaying, but
yeah.
it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
that
it's something
uh,
they will not be interested in or knowing
right.
about. So therefore, they're just gonna be like, no.
Even though there's more generations more aware of certain things, this one, nah, just
Yeah, it
no.
went over it.
Because who wants to talk about war? It's just a hard
That
subject
yeah,
to
it is.
mention.
It really, really is. So therefore, like I kind of understand why, but like at the same
Yeah.
time, you gotta let it happen. But Nico, what
Exactly.
was you gonna say?
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say this is one of Verhoeven's, like, he did 8. No, he did more than 8. But like of his first,
Mm-hmm.
like it was RoboCop, then it was Total
Oh, he did
Recall, then it
RoboCop.
was
I didn't know
yeah, he did
that.
RoboCop. Yeah,
Okay,
Look at
wow.
that.
yeah,
I knew Total Recall, but okay,
Yeah,
RoboCop, that's a good
yeah,
one.
that's a classic.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
that's irony and political satire in itself.
Mm-hmm.
But like each one of them has, like, like you said, it's gone over like people's heads, especially like Starship Troopers, because you have the whining years of the Gulf War. You have
Mm.
veterans that have fought in there. Like my dad served in the Gulf War, and my uncle did, and you have all these people, and then you have a movie that comes out like this, and those people get it, those people understand, but then you have civilians like ourselves that don't understand it, and like they're like, oh, it's a sci-fi war movie. There's
Yeah.
bugs, there's spaceships, there's guns and everything like that. Like, oh, it's okay movie, yeah, but like, it's whatever. And
Yeah.
people don't really see the message. And if you know, then you know what the message is.
Starship Troopers, I would definitely give it a 4 out of 5
Yeah,
because it's actually a really enjoyable movie. I think it's B movie at its best. Like,
yeah,
corny CGI with corny dialogue, but I like the meaning behind it.
yeah. I do too give it a 4 out of 5. Johnny tried to get mad because Carmen broke up with him, and I'm just like, dude, like,
Oh,
he wanted to be bitter about it, talking about you broke up with me. I'm gonna fight this guy that you're with, and she's not even with the guy, and he's like, punch. And I'm just like, really?
it's just testosterone going too much around the room.
Exactly. No. I understand that she broke up with you in front of, well, like, she didn't technically break up with you in front of people.
It
People
was
just
like in a
It
video.
was a Dear John.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. It was a personal video, and you had nosy bunk mates that wanted to listen on it.
Right.
But like,
Yeah, it was a Dear John video.
yeah, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, you want to sit there and be petty about it. I'm just like, okay, my God.
Oh,
I understand. She broke your heart, and then he got with Dizzy, and I'm just like, okay.
Oh man.
But Nico, I think you give it a 10 out of 5 stars.
Oh hell
10
yeah!
out of
That, like
5.
I
10.
said, like I love watching that movie as much as I love Star Wars. Like that's pretty much like the equal level that I will put it at.
Yeah, I forgot, me too. But yes, you guys, we thank you so much for tuning into this episode of this podcast. Again, like Sam said, thank you, Nico. This was long overdue, but we're glad that we got it done and out the way. And I feel like it's going to be a good episode to release. So yeah, thank you. Sam, do you have any lovely words for people out there?
Nico, you're not invited back. No, I'm kidding.
Samantha.
Oh, okay. I get it.
He's definitely invited
You
back.
hate me.
Yes, you are always welcome here. Everyone who comes into this podcast, you are welcome
Yes.
with open arms and beautiful kisses and fist bumps if you want them. But on that note, stay safe and stay nerdy and have a wonderful weekend. See you guys.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.